to AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling with your hosts, Aubrey Edwards and Tony Schiavone. How you doing, Tony?
I'm fine, Aubrey. Good to be talking with you today. You know, we have had plenty of very special people with us here on our Unrestricted, and none as special as the captain himself, Shawn Dean.
What's going on, guys? How you guys doing?
We're doing great.
So one of the reasons why I'm particularly happy to have the captain here is he's probably the person I text the most on show day. So I'm very excited to give a little highlight and insight into your background and everything we do here. And then just making sure that I put it out into the universe as much as possible. You are one of 3 people that has beaten MJF.
That's right.
And arguably one of the most, you guys were all making fun of me for it, but I was stressed the hell out because of that match. It was the first time we ever did a DQ in like 140 episodes of TV. And I'm like, okay, so hold on, what's happening? And they're like, dude, bitch, just like Shawn wins, okay?
Easy day, you know. It was a fun experience. I was talking with Punk before that happened, and he was like, yeah, you know, you got this thing going on, you know, and I think I'm gonna cost MJF a match, you know, but I just don't know who it's gonna be. And you know, I'm not thinking it's gonna be me, you know. I'm just like, oh, cool. I'm like, it's gonna be great. Yeah, I'm like, you know, he deserves it. And then the day of the show, they're like, yeah, it's gonna be you, and I'm like, oh shit.
Isn't that always great?
I was like, oh shit. Yeah. So it was cool. It was cool to be one of 3 people to beat MJF. It's Mox, Le Champion, and the captain. You know, 3 people.
Good company. Good company.
That is great company. Now, behind the scenes, most of us who work know, many that listen to this podcast do not know that you work for the Community Outreach team with Cody and Amanda. You also work on AEW Dark and Elevation. Dark, I think, Elevation. You are what we consider the booker for AEW Dark, and you coordinate Booker Man, and you also coordinate all the extras. That's a lot that's on your plate, big guy. A lot.
Yeah. It's a lot, but I'm thankful of the people that I have around me that keep me grounded, that are able to answer any questions that I have. I really use my resources a lot with QT and Cody and TK as well. You know, so I get a lot of feedback and a lot of direction from those guys on how to do the job. It was a job that the extra coordinator was something that was created to alleviate some of the stress from off QT because he had a lot of stuff on his plate that he was doing. And I was thankful to just be in the right place at the right time to take that off his hands and hit the ground running with it. He gave me a little bit of training on what to do. And then from the rest on that, it was just me asking questions to all the talent and the people that we had backstage, just picking their brains on how to get the job done. And I think so far I've been pretty successful at it. Brought in a lot of good talent, put together a lot of good matches on Dark and on Elevation to, you know, get the fans a good show on those shows. And I think that from the start of what we did at Dark in the beginning during the pandemic to what we have now, I think just putting those parents together and the talent that we bring in has just been night and day with what we're putting out.
I want to talk a little bit more about just for people who maybe don't understand like what the whole process of booking for something is like. What is it that you look for when booking specific talent for AEW Dark? Because I know that we end up taking like a lot of like specifically local talent for all of the places that we're visiting and whatnot. But like, what factors in?
So I try to look at their background experience and things like that. And then a little small thing that I take in consideration is when I started out. So I didn't have as longevity in the business as a lot of people who are in the business right now. But if it's somebody who's been in 2 or 3 years, I look at their resume, I look at their match clips and their stuff, and I see if they have some potential and some good talent and something that they can offer to our staff to make them look presentable and look good on TV. Then I bring those people in first, and then from there I just kind of look at what kind of story we want to tell on Dark or Elevation to elevate our talent. So if the majority of the people that we have on Dark and Elevation are going into a big storyline and things like that, I might try to bring in some tougher opponents from the indies or things like that, so that, to give our talent some more credibility, push them a little bit harder, so that when they go into their feud with our talent versus talent, that it shows that they're legit and that they're ready to go, and that they're not just going out doing a quick squash, that they actually are ready to rock and roll.
Well, you obviously have, Shawn, a great big phone list of wrestlers from all around the world, from the independents. I mean, you obviously, people are waiting to hear a call from you because they get a chance to wrestle on an AEW program. And my question is here, do you get a lot of people contacting you to say, hey, can I get booked this week? Or does that happen a lot?
Man, constantly. I mean, right now, right now, it's emails coming through right now.
Right.
And yeah, I mean,
spill the tea. Spill the tea.
I mean, yeah, it's people every day, constantly, all hours of the day and night. They're hitting me up and they want an opportunity, and I get it. We're all hungry, and I've been in those shoes before, and I think that the key thing though is that they want this opportunity to be on TV, and I get that. That's a key thing, but it's also a way in how they present it too. A lot of people just say, "Hey, I heard you was the guy booking for Dark. Let me know when you're in my city." Like, it's like, it's,
yeah, right.
You gotta have, it's like, what
exactly.
I'm supposed to do with that? And you'll be surprised. I get those a lot. Like, just people just say, don't even say anything. Just email me and just a picture, and that's it, and it's nothing else. No substance, no nothing. Or, again, just no formality behind it. And, I mean, for the people who are listening to this and who contact me and maybe you haven't heard back, maybe that's why, it's just the approach and the way that you come at it when you want to get a job. This, at the end of the day, it's a job. You want to present yourself in the best light. When I came to AEW or when I went to any job I ever had, I never just showed up and just said, hey, hire me. I put in some effort and I put some thought into what I wanted to do and what I wanted to present. And that's how you get noticed. And that's just another way how you get on.
I like that people think like, hey, what's up? Let me know when, could you do my job and let me know when you're in my city?
Hey, yeah, I heard you guys are going to be in Bumblefuck. Can you let me know? Like, what?
I'm licensed for Bumblefuck, by the way. I can perform in Bumblefuck.
Yeah, you're a real good Bumblefuck referee, as a matter of fact.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Moving away from Bumblefuck.
That's a record for F-bombs in one AEW Unrestricted. And we did it in like 30 seconds. How about that?
Oh, my God. I wasn't the one to start it, though. For once.
I'm sorry.
Oh, don't apologize. This is a historic day for our podcast. Yeah, it's great.
That's right.
Anyway, so one of the things that was really great about AEW Dark during the pandemic is a lot of indie companies weren't running. So we had this opportunity to have people come in and actually get work when they normally wouldn't be getting work. And from that point, we had a lot of new names and faces come in, like probably most notable Fuego. We had Red Velvet. We've had a couple other people come in as extra talent that have then become full-time roster members and have had big opportunities. Is there anyone in your mind that sort of sticks out as like ones that you're particularly proud of, or maybe ones that you're just like, I don't know. What do you think?
If I had to go male and female wise, that I had a hand at bringing in, probably would be Daniel Garcia. He's killing it right now. He's a guy. I mean, he came in before I had took the job, but then once I got in and started doing it, he was one of the people who I definitely wanted to bring back because he impressed me in a lot of stuff that he did. Some of the matches that he had, his intensity, his ring awareness, just his technical prowess, like everything he did. He just, I felt like he had like. He got potential to be something big in his industry in a few years, if not now. As you just saw, he just won Battle for Los Angeles.
Yes.
So I mean, he's really killing it. So Garcia is somebody who I really admire as far as one of the people that I brought in, and somebody who I think in a couple of years also is going to be really good is Skye Blue. She's also a Chicago native. So. I really, really like her. Just somebody who, when I see her backstage, we have this thing where we see each other, we just go boo, like try to scare each other. It's so simple, so stupid, but you always just see us backstage. And that's just one of the things that we do. So Skye Blue, a hometown girl here in Chicago, and is just somebody who I'm very proud of that I was able to give opportunity to, and I'm just really proud that she's doing what she's doing right now.
We're talking to Shawn Dean, who, by the way, as you probably realize by now, is a Chicago native from the Chicago area, from Inglewood, right? Is that right?
Yeah,
Inglewood? Yeah,
South Side, South Side.
South Side. So you come to Atlanta to the factory, train with QT Marshall, and there's a very special story about you coming to Atlanta, right, and training.
Yes.
Tell us that story, because it's a very it's a great story.
So when I finished playing football, and I didn't have a desire to play anymore, but I still wanted to compete and do some things and so to speak, combative ways. So I always been a fan of wrestling, so I went and started training wrestling here in Chicago. But the training just wasn't as frequent as I wanted it to be. Right. So initially, I met a guy who goes by the name of AR Fox, very indie legend.
Right.
Kills it everywhere he goes. And met him at a local indie show, and then he told me, "Hey, if you want to move to Atlanta, hey, come down and do it, and I'll get you training, get you started." I said, "Okay, cool." Talked about it with my wife at the time. She was my fiance at the time, and she said, "Hey, if you really want to do this, then you go ahead and you go down there. I'll finish school in 6 months. Go do it." So I packed up everything I had, went and moved down to Atlanta. I brought an apartment without even seeing it. Just moved down there, and I had, like, when I got down there, I had to pay like the first month rent, gas to get there, and all this other stuff. I had like $20, legit $20 to live for like a whole month until I got my first check. Wow. Had an unfurnished apartment, nothing in the house, just an air bed, and I ate food from Dollar Tree for that whole time I was there. Just went in there. The last $20 I had, brought $20 worth of groceries and just hunkered down and made it happen.
Right.
And when I left, I left not only behind my fiance, but I left behind, my daughter. And that was tough, but it was something that I felt like I needed to do in order to provide her a better life, and also to show her too that, when you have some things that you're trying to accomplish in life, sometimes you got to take a gamble and you got to take a bet on yourself. Nobody's gonna do that. You have to do that for yourself. If you don't believe in yourself first, nothing's gonna happen. It's your dream. It's nobody else's dream. And I talk to her about that constantly. When she's in school and stuff like that, I let her know that anything that you want in life, you can have if you just believe in yourself and you go forward and you do it. It's always mind over matter. You can do whatever you put your mind to. And that was something I did with wrestling, And after I went down and moved to Atlanta and I trained with AR Fox for a little bit, I met QT. And QT, I felt like he saw a little bit of me. He may not want to admit it, but I felt like he saw a little potential in me in the same way that Fox did. And, he took me under his wing as well. And he taught me everything that he could teach me for, how to work on TV and how to become a better wrestler and how to get in shape and, what I needed to do, and introduced me to his wife, who helped me get in shape as well, put me on a nutrition plan and stuff like that. So
right.
Going to the Nightmare Factory was just like, it was night and day with everything I needed to do. It was the final piece of the puzzle to make all those sacrifices that I did 4 years prior come true, So I thank all those people that had a hand in doing that. And, it was a tough road in the beginning, but, anything that's not hard, it's not worth having, So I wouldn't change anything that I've done to get to that point where I'm at right now.
We're talking to the captain, Shawn Dean, here on AEW Unrestricted, a little bit about what he does backstage. And coming up, we'll talk about how he got into wrestling.
AEW Unrestricted with Captain Shawn Dean, who works behind the scenes and also is in the ring, and MJF knows all about that. And that was a very, very...
I beat you, and you know it, right. MJF. You know it.
So Shawn, you come to Atlanta. You start training with QT Marshall. You got your first opportunity on AEW Dark in March of 2020 when it launched, and then the pandemic hits. And what did you think about your wrestling career then? I mean, everybody was kind of like, wow, what does this mean, right?
And man, that was crazy. Just had got that first opportunity, and then I'm thinking like, all right, things are starting to finally click, and things are starting to happen. And then bam, pandemic hits. So I remember sitting at home and along with everybody else, and we didn't know what was going to happen. And I was watching Tiger King, you know,
like everyone else,
Tiger King like everybody else, and then QT hit me up and he was like, "Hey, we're gonna still keep going on. We're gonna just do it with no fans, open air, daily place, and uh, but we're gonna do some tapings in Atlanta first." And I said,
Right.
"Wow." And he said, "Do you want to come? Do you mind coming?" And I mean, I didn't even think about it. My wife, she's a pharmacist, and she's talking about like all the COVID and stuff like that. But it was like the Charlie Brown voice was in my. It was like, oh, I just wasn't hearing it. I heard it, but I wasn't hearing it. I wasn't. She might kill me for that, but I wasn't hearing it because I felt like this was the opportunity. When the world stopped, you got to keep going. So I bounced on it. He called. I think he called me. It had to have been like maybe midnight, 1 a.m. or something like that. And the tapings was the next day. And I was like, yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there bright and early, So, but yeah, I mean, it was tough. I tell everybody that the pandemic was a blessing and a curse, because it as much as it hurt so many people, it definitely brought a lot of opportunities to a lot of other people, because at the end of the day, when like I said, when things stop, you got to keep going, and you need people who are willing to make those sacrifices and go for the better good. Whether it's entertainment, healthcare, law enforcement, whatever you're doing, you have to make those sacrifices to keep some kind of order or some type of sanity. And we provide that kind of sanity. We provided a lot of sanity going through the pandemic. So I'm thankful to be a part of that.
It was a very interesting time when the rest of the world wasn't even like interacting with each other. And there we are, 2 a.m., Daly's place, wrestling.
Putting on bangers in front of each other,
Putting on bangers in front of Austin Gunn yelling in the front row. So going way, way back, your dad was the one that introduced you to wrestling.
Correct.
Do you remember like what that moment was for you where you're like, oh, this is cool?
Man, it was like, so my dad, he would watch wrestling on Saturdays with and my brothers and my sister. We would all watch it. But my dad, like, he would put me in like certain moves. Like he would put me in like a finger four or like a sharpshooter. and I'm like 6, 7 years old. You know what I'm saying? So he's doing all these moves for me, but it interested me. It was just something that I thought was cool. My dad used to be a wrestler in high school, so it came natural to him. So for him to introduce me into wrestling at such a young age, man, I was captivated by it. I was watching the likes of like Macho Man and the Iron Sheik and the Giant, Andre the Giant. Then we go into my favorite era. I'm watching HBK, Diesel, Razor Ramon, all these guys. And then the WCW era, I'm watching all the great cruiserweights, Dean Malenko, Chris Jericho, Hoover too. I'm watching all these guys, and it's just like, man, I never stopped being a fan. Even when I wanted to take a break from it, I always found myself coming back. And to me, that's like, it's a healthy addiction, because I felt the same way about football. I felt the same way about baseball. Like every time I wanted to like stop doing it, it always brought me back. So, it was just, my dad was a key part of me getting into wrestling, just like how he was when I got into any other sport I did.
I mentioned Inglewood, in outside of South side of Chicago. Number 3 of 6 kids, big family.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, man. Talk about how the neighborhood you grew up in and how it helped shape you as a person, Shawn.
So I grew up in Inglewood. If anybody's familiar or watch the news or anything like that, it's one of the toughest neighborhoods if not the country.
Right.
It's rough, And when I was growing up, we dealt with a lot of stuff. We grew up in the heart of Inglewood, and like to this day, my parents still live in Inglewood. But one of the key things that kept us out of trouble was us being in sports. My mom and my dad, they kept us active all year round. So we didn't have time to really turn to the streets.
Sure.
My oldest brother was a standout football player. My second oldest brother was a standout basketball player. I played baseball and football. My younger brother played football. My younger brother played baseball, and my sister just was super smart. She's really smart. So she didn't have time for sports because she was always in a book. But but for the most part, that's what it was for us. And when we were growing up, we had gang influence. We had drug dealers on our block who would, try to influence us in a negative way. But I think a lot of them saw what we were trying to do as far as, not really engaging in that lifestyle. So we got kind of, like a pass on the block. Nobody really messed with us like that. We didn't get bullied. Nothing like that happened,
Right.
And I think that it was us, just how our parents kept us, active all the time, so, yeah, I mean, if we didn't have that type of foundation with our mom and my dad, man, I don't know what would happen. We
Sure.
probably would have got caught up in those streets, but to have all those activities and to have that influence from my parents to keep us out of that, it paid dividends. My brothers and them, we all graduated from college. We all are doing successful things right now. So it's a testament that growing up in that environment and dealing with those type of conflicts, you can make it out of it.
So graduated high school, super involved in all these sports. Eventually you end up enlisting into the Navy. Correct. Right out of high school. Talk about the decision and what were your goals when you were in the Navy?
The reason why I joined the Navy, I mean, as patriotic as it was to join during that time, it was a little me being a hardhead. I was poised to go and play college football, but I chose against it because I didn't get a scholarship, so I ended up joining the Navy. Mm-hmm. And it was during the time, it was right after the events of September 11th. And it was just me wanting to, I guess, so to speak, rebel and join the Navy. But during my time in the Navy, it really changed and reshaped my whole thought process on what it means to be who I am in this world. It helped me grow up. It helped me meet a lot of people in different places throughout the world. And yeah, I'm real thankful for my time that I spent in the military, man. I met a lot of good people, did a lot of good things. And yeah, if I can go back and change anything, I probably would have stayed in a little bit longer to get some more travels in. But I had different plans once I got out.
We talked about you getting to know A.R. Fox, and you talked about wrestling on the Chicago scene. So once you get out of the military, how long did it take for you to get into wrestling? What's the timeline there?
So I initially wanted to start, I got out of the Navy when I was 21. I wanted to start wrestling when I was like 23. Yep. But during that time frame, I had ended up playing arena football. So during my time playing arena football, I played for like several teams in the Chicago area, one of them being Chicago Slaughter, and coach Steve Mongo McMichael, who was also a former WCW legend and Cool Horseman. Yep. I had the privilege of working under him for a few months when I was under that system. But then once I finished that, probably about 4 more years after that. So when I was like 27, 28, that's when I really took the leap and decided to take becoming a professional wrestler seriously. And it was a program. I don't know if I can say it, but it was Tough Enough. Is where I wanted. Where I
was going to ask about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So yeah, Tough Enough. Tough Enough is where I really found that, like, hey, I think I can do this. I did a promo. It's on YouTube, where I had to cut a promo and it did pretty well. It got a couple of thousand views, and once I felt like I got that traction and it was picking up steam, I said, hey man, I need to go ahead and go full force with this, and that was it, man. That's when I knew this was what I wanted to do.
So wait, you hadn't wrestled before auditioning for Tough Enough?
Never wrestled, never stepped foot in the ring.
Damn.
just went and did it.
Which is funny now that like that promo gets like a couple thousand views, but now like your bits on the Sammy vlog, which stand on their own.
Yeah.
I mean that vlog gets over 100,000 views. So.
Yeah, that's
who
great,
would have thought, man?
Who would have thought? Not me. Yeah, man, that's great.
We've got a couple questions specific to the Sammy vlog, so we'll get to that in the next section. We're talking to Captain Shawn Dean, extra coordinator and all-around fantastic human being here on AEW Unrestricted.
AEW Unrestricted, the official podcast of All Elite Wrestling. Tony Schiavone, Aubrey Edwards, and the Captain. Shawn Dean. Shawn, you're really of all the efforts that you've gone through to get into pro wrestling, 2021, March of 2021 changed your life because you became employed by AEW on a full-time basis. Tony Khan said a lot of nice things about you, and we all were in agreement that you were the right man for the job. And talk about what that meant for your journey. Everybody wants to main event. I get that. Everybody wants to main event All Out or WrestleMania or Full Gear or whatever, but not everybody can do that. But not everybody has an impact in the sport, and you do, and that had to be a big moment for you.
Yeah, that was really big. It really showed that a lot of people backstage believed in me and trusted me, and I mean, I meant a lot. Because like you said, I never at this stage in my career. I mean, I started so late,
right?
And that's not to say that certain things can't happen.
Sure.
I look at DDP, right? He started late. Batista started late, and those guys went on to be world champions, legends in the business. But my thought process is that I don't think for right now. I think long term. And what you said was something key, was that in my mind, realistically, will I be able to main event and All Out? Possibly, but the chances are slim,
Sure.
But can I have a hand in booking one of the future people who could be a main event star and All Out? That's more feasible and more realistic. And that's something that I feel like I have more of a say in and can be an impact in the business. One of the things I had to do in one of my reviews was, what do I want to do in the industry? And I look at like Jim Ross or Christopher Daniels, and those guys are bringing in or have brought in people who have made millions of dollars within this industry. Right. And that's something that I want to be able to hang my hat on and say like, hey, I discovered the next big thing,
Sure.
and I'm cool with that. That's something that's going to make me sleep good at night and solidify my legacy. And that's the kind of legacy that I want to leave in the industry. I have a lot of skills that, don't necessarily apply to the ring. And a lot of you guys see what I do backstage, and that's how I get stuff done. I'm a go-getter. I get whatever needs to get done. I'm gonna get it done. If they say, hey, we need this, by the end of the day, you're going to have it, or I'm going to find somebody that can get it to me and then you're going to have it. That's just what I do. And so to be put in this position last year, man, it was great. And I'm just so, I say it a lot, but I'm just so thankful to be in this position, and that TK, QT, Cody, and all those guys saw the potential in me to be able to handle this responsibility on top of the community responsibility, on top of whatever other responsibility they want to put on me. They know that if something needs to get done, Captain's going to get it done.
I like that you mentioned DDP and Batista and all these guys who have their storied careers, but neither of them beat MJF. So
neither.
That's right.
That's facts.
That's right.
Fact. I mean, it's just saying facts. Just saying facts. Anyway,
that's right.
We've got quite a few fan questions for Shawn Dean. Thank you for everyone that sent them in. We touched on this a little bit last segment. Roxanne Kelly asks, how is it being a part of the vlog crew, and can we see more bits from you? You're so funny, and I love the captain.
Oh man. So being on the vlog crew just started when I got the extra job. It was something that QT was doing at first, and then I kind of took it over, and the initial concept was that I would eventually turn into QT. I would eventually just hate everything and start losing my hair, so to speak, and turn to QT. And then the extra big just took a life on its own. And then now we have the film sessions with Coach Cap, and that's taken off so great. Shout out to Coach 30, the inspiration behind it. And yeah, you can catch more clips every Tuesday. I'll keep doing them as long as you guys keep watching.
Yeah, Jamerson 315 wanted to know the coach and player segments. Who actually came up with that? Was that you? Was that Sammy? Who came up with that idea?
I got it from. So we had a guy at our show in DC. His name is Coach 30, Brendan Clinton. He does these clips where he is essentially a coach that we've all had in our life. If you ever played sports as a youngin or in the yesteryears, where you had this coach who would always drill you, always talk trash about you if you messed up and things like that, and praise the good players when they did something good, right? So I love those clips because that was my coach. My coach used to do that to me all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, McBride, you're pissing down your leg right now. Like, that was my coach. My coach would say that to me all the time.
Yeah.
So I kind of he does it on the basketball, football side right there. So I said, hey, let me bring that kind of thing to the professional wrestling community and do it with us. And I kind of received his blessing a little bit when he came to the show. He appreciates me, keeping the whole coach universe alive in the wrestling realm. So yeah.
All right. I just love it. What's the name of this play? David's Mama. Yeah, because he's running 2 men deep. Tony, if you're not watching it, you got to watch these Coach 30 clips. They're so good. It's like it made me appreciate everything that Captain is doing more because it just captures the essence of an original artist. And then, it's so good. So absolutely good. And then including him in the vlog when he was there in DC was just absolutely clutch move. So great. Rick Guzman asks, since every wrestler starts as a fan, what was the match that made you want to become a wrestler?
The match that made me want to become a wrestler, probably Macho Man Steamboat WrestleMania. That was the one that was like, man, you know what? This is great. This is really good. This is some good stuff. I want to do this. And I appreciate it more every time I watch it because it just was just legit poetry in motion. That was a great match. That was the one that was like, hey, I want to do this.
It's one of them that has stood the test of time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it really has. That's a good answer. Chaotic Headbanger GF. That's Chaotic Headbanger GF.
Fantastic name.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, how about that? Shawn Dean, how you balance home life, backstage work, and in-ring work? Do you get overwhelmed by it all, or do you hit life with the deal?
Oh, man, I hit life with the deal.
Yeah.
I take it. I hit life with the deal, man. I just dive in full force, man. Sometimes I don't know how I do it. And that's not even just, trying to brag on myself, but sometimes I just don't know. Cause I'm in Chicago right now. I leave home. If I want to come to Chicago to see my daughter or something like that, I just get on a plane and go. If I want to see my family, I have to do it. I spend time with my wife. I set time aside with her, spend time with her. I find time to train. I probably sleep maybe 4, maybe 5 hours a day. And that's all you need. I'm used to that. I used to work overnight, so I used to do that, so I try to maximize my time as much as possible. So yeah, I'm just hitting life with the deal every chance I get,
Yeah. A little quick follow-up before the next question from Aubrey. Your family's growing too, right?
Yes. Got a baby boy on the way, man. Be here.
Wow.
Man. Be here in about 3 weeks, man. About 3 weeks.
Oh my God. Okay. Thanks for the warning. Okay. That's going to be when you're gone that day, it's like, oh God, what are we doing?
So when he's 6 years old, put him in the figure 4.
That's right.
It's handed down, right? It's handed down with the family.
I'm going to hit him with the deal, right? When he turns 6.
Hit him with the deal. Speaking of which, I don't know how we made it like 3 whole segments without talking about the deal. How did Hit Him with the Deal start? What is the deal? Like tell us, fill us in. Because I think we all know, but we don't actually know.
So the deal started during the COVID era, pandemic era. When we started being in the crowd. So it would be like me, Austin, Colton, and his dad, and we'd all be over there, and we would just start, trying to keep the energy going. You know how it is out there. We're trying to keep the energy
You're out there
going.
like 7 hours. You're just trying to get excited,
So we would, Austin's the MVP of the COVID era as a fan, and I'm trying to match his energy and I'm trying to keep up with him, but after like 10 hours of being out there, you start losing it. And I forgot what match it was, but I know we just started yelling out all kind of stuff. And then I just was like, hit him with the deal! The deal! But I'm not ringside. Now I'm all the way in the stands in the bowl. So I'm like, hit him with the deal! And it just took a life on its own. And then everybody just started, what is the deal? And I'm like, the deal is the deal. It's the deal. It could be anything.
Right.
And if the deal doesn't work, then you hit him with the other deal. That's it. Yeah.
I think my favorite story with the deal, I was reffing a gun club match and Austin did his little Mr. Perfect spot. And as he's setting up for it, he goes, hit him with the deal. It's like 1:30 in the morning. We are all just like delirious at this point. And I just see all of the people in the bowl just start, yes! Like jumping up and down, like, and as soon as you got signed, there's a shirt that comes out that says "Hit him with the deal," and
hit
everyone backstage is wearing it, and it's like,
that was
this
dope.
is the greatest
that
like
cool.
inside joke to ever become something that like people outside don't understand fully, but like people appreciate, and it's like I love those moments in wrestling where it's like you can't quite explain it, but everyone knows what's going on and everyone's into it. I love it.
Yeah, that was cool.
Love it. We have a question from PSR Director. What was the transition from extra to your current position like?
At first it was, I don't want to say it was tough because, you go from, you want to be in the ring all the time to now you got to take some time away so that you can really learn the job so that you can do it to the best of your ability. But I think once I came to terms with, hey, this is what life is for me. And this is what I really enjoy doing because I'm still around the business and I'm still able to learn from so many people. So it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. It took about 2 weeks for me, like, hey, man, I'm not going to be able to wrestle. Because I went from wrestling on Dark, like, I mean, you don't get an 0-49 record. You don't get an 0-49 record, doing it sporadically. So I was wrestling on Dark every week. So, it took some time away. But it was good, though. And then when you take some time away, too, people get the appreciation more. And I got to see that fans actually did like what I did in the ring. And that opened up more opportunities for me to do more stuff in the ring. So, yeah, I was cool with it. It was a brief, uneasy period, but after that, got over that, it was cool. And I still thank the fans for even wanting to still see me come out and do what I do in the ring.
This comes from All Elite Matt, and he wants to know Shawn, if you stayed in the Navy, what would your goal position station be?
If I would have stayed in the Navy, I would have either wanted to end up in San Diego, California, or Osaka, Japan.
Oh,
those are the two places that I wanted to go. Yeah, I never got to go to the West Coast because it's no, I don't say it's easy. It's more laid back. I'll say I was over in I was in the East, so we're so close to DC. It's more strict, more formal. You have to be on your P's and Q's at all times. But when you're on the West Coast, you really get that full Navy vibe where you can relax and you can chill and you can enjoy the scenery and stuff like that. All my friends who are still in the Navy and they are all in the West Coast. They're all in the West Coast, either West Coast or Texas. None of them are on the East Coast because we had such a, just a time when we was in the East Coast, just learning our military bearing. And, it kept us squared away, though. I'll say that. They keep us squared away. But, West Coast is where it's at when you're in the military.
Yeah, you were stationed in Norfolk, right? Which is the headquarters of the U.S. Naval.
Biggest base in the world. Yep.
Right. Yeah.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
That's right.
It had everything, and you got not just Navy, but you got the Army, Marines, Air Force. Everybody's there, so you got to be on your P's and Q's at all times.
Absolutely.
I just imagine like a West Side Story breakdown of like all the different divisions of like the military versus the Navy, and you're just all like snapping. I'm like, I want to be in America. No, it's. I know it doesn't work that way, but I want to imagine that's what it works like. And then as soon as you all face up, someone hits someone with the deal. It's great.
Shawn, I want to follow up. You trained at the factory with QT. Do you still do anything at the factory, or are you just kind of a big shot now?
No. I still try to get to the factory as much as possible anytime I'm in town. Good. Yeah, the only time that I don't get there, that I haven't been there as much lately, is because of the baby. So I haven't been able to go to the baby. Mama Bear's still pregnant, so I can't get there too much as I want to. But as soon as little Captain is out, I'll be back there full force, hitting him with the deal.
Hit him with the deal. Oh, so great. Thank you for being here today, Captain. This was absolutely wonderful. Like you're just a bright and wonderful individual. You do so much around Backstage, and the attitude that you have on a day-to-day basis keeps me grounded, because I can't imagine having all of the people that you do bugging you constantly for every little bit of information. And you're just so chill about everything. Like that itself is a great trait. And I love that I get to work with someone as closely as you who has that, because that keeps me grounded. So thank you very much for everything that you do.
Yeah,
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you, buddy. One last thing. I know you're part of Community Outreach with Amanda and Cody, and that keeps you busy as well. We didn't talk enough about that.
Yeah, seriously.
So the community thing, I really love that. That was something that I was super excited to be a part of when Cody first presented it to me if I wanted to, have a role in that. And he couldn't even finish the sentence before I said yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's so important to be able to give back to the communities that we go to. You know, they give so much to us, whether they're giving us their time, their money for our merch, you know, their tears, their enjoyment, their viewership, like everything that they give us is so important that we give back to them. And I take pride in every city that we go to find a place that doesn't get as much love, because we can easily go to the biggest companies in the world and do community service with them. But I enjoy finding those small mom and pop startup communities, those communities that don't get the money or the big bucks or the attention that they deserve, and shedding a light on them and hearing them come back to us and say, like, man, we never had this many followers on our page before, or we never received this many donations before, and we're still receiving donations. Like that is important to me. You know, that's a part of a legacy that I want to leave, is that, you know, I was able to get back to and touch so many people, women, children, men, people of all ages, just whatever is going on. Like I love that. Like, and that's so important. I'm so glad that we were able to start up that community outreach team and do the stuff that we're doing in the community. Some of my favorite projects were the Wounded Warrior Project, the Special Olympics, merging veterans and players, the Treehouse Bookstore in Philadelphia. Man, I can name so many, Playworks, like everything that we've done so far. Toys for Tots, like all the stuff that we've done so far in a short time period has just been phenomenal. And I can't wait to just continue to keep going and hopefully continue to touch more states and hopefully do this overseas and all kind of stuff. Like I can't thank the AEW Community Outreach team, Cody, Amanda, Show, Mark, Thunder, all the people that's involved with that, Bryce, everybody's involved with it. Just thank you guys for all the support, everything that you're doing with that. It's amazing. And I can't wait to see what we do in 2022.
You're a good man, Shawn Dean. You really are, buddy.
Sir.
Thank you for giving us a salute. And that's the deal right there.
That's the deal.
That's the deal. All right, you can follow Shawn on Instagram and Twitter at Shawn Dean 773. That's Shawn Dean 773.
Right.
You can listen and follow this podcast, AEW Unrestricted.
Don't let the moment be too big. Don't piss down your legs. Watch this podcast. Follow us on social media. All right. Don't be like your father.
Mom.
Don't be like your father. He's a deadbeat. All right. Be better than him. All right.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
God, you can listen and follow this. Aubrey, take it away.
You can listen to and follow this podcast. We have new episodes every Thursday. All of your favorite podcast platforms. You can watch the video and watch all of us constantly salute Captain Shawn Dean. Mondays, YouTube, just search AEW Unrestricted. And then when you're not watching the Sammy vlog on Tuesday, when we're all making asses of ourselves, you can watch Dark Elevation on Mondays on YouTube, Dark on Tuesdays on YouTube, Dynamite on TBS, 8 o'clock, 7 Central on Wednesdays. Yes, Dynamite Wednesdays, TBS. And then Friday, Rampage, 10 o'clock, 7 Central on TNT. I'm Aubrey and Tony Schiavone here with Captain Shawn Dean. Thank you for listening.
Thank you, guys.